Call the City Council special meeting of the City Council to order at 7:02 p.m. Please stand and join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I excuse myself before you get started.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Let the record reflect that Mr. Blaze is leaving the council chambers. Mr. Withers, would you kindly read the notice of the special meeting?
Guess what I did? I grabbed the wrong one. Can you give me a second?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry about that, Mr. President. I was prepared for this meeting, I thought, so. Date, July 26, 2018, two members of the Municipal Council from Mark J. Cooper, Council President. Councilors, by authority of Article 2, Section 2-7C of the Attleboro Home Rule Charter, I hereby call a special meeting of the Municipal Council as follows. Date, Thursday, October 2nd, 2018, time 7 p.m., place Council Chambers. Purpose, to address the reconsideration filing by Councilor Conti regarding the vote for the water superintendent appointment and any legal matter that may come before the council. CC Mayor Paul Haru.
Thank you.
Order. You said October. Just so you
What did I say?
You said October instead of August.
Did I say October 2nd?
Yeah, you did.
August 2nd, I'm sorry.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Let's just make it all, make sure it's all
Okay.
buttoned up right.
Thank you. At this time, I'm going to recognize Councilor Conti.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to reconsider the vote of July 19, 2018, relative to confirming the appointment of Courtney Wunschel to fill a 3-year term as Superintendent of Water, term to expire February 21st, February 2021.
Second.
Thank you. Before I declare the motion in order, I just want to make a quick comment at the request of the city solicitor, at the advice of the city solicitor. So, as I said, at the direction of the city solicitor, and given the sensitive nature of this topic, the council was instructed to be careful given the challenges between open meeting law and labor law. We need to protect both the candidate and the city in this matter. So many of us have been criticized for not making public comment, and that is why. Motion is in order. Councilor Conti.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for this opportunity to get the reconsideration out. We've all been well-trained in the open meeting law, and we're not skilled in labor law, but at the reason why I filed for the reconsideration vote, and I made myself clear when Councilor Holmes made the motion to confirm that I would support her because I thought she had the licensing, and that's all well known. But I was surprised by the vote, and I was, usually when there's a lopsided vote, I'm the one that's on the wrong side of the deal. You guys all go one way, and I'm stuck out in left field. This time, the shock and awe of the vote had me completely confused because of the labor laws and because of the open meeting laws, we weren't able to discuss it, and I was shocked. So I felt I needed more time for calls, and so in the morning I woke up with the conclusion that I had to file for a reconsideration, and it wasn't meant to be a divisive measure to rip this council apart. It was strictly a measure for me to figure out what was going on, because I thought it was a mess, and I wanted to figure it out, so I started making calls. And I thought maybe even I would reconsider my own vote, because I wasn't sure whether or not the majority was right and I was wrong, or I was right and the majority was wrong. So I made my calls, and I came to the conclusion that I do support Courtney for reappointment. So I hope that you'll join me in such a manner by moving to allow the reconsideration. And that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Councilor Preca.
I'd like to call for a roll call vote as opposed to a voice vote, please.
Yes. Any other questions or comments? This motion, This motion requires a roll call vote, and as usual, we will start to the left with Counsel Jackson.
Ms. Jackson.
Thank you. Mr. President, I'd like to charter object.
Okay. So a second charter objection will also require a roll call vote, and we will require 4 votes in the affirmative to have a second charter objection. Does everyone understand what we are voting on? You're voting at this time on the second charter objection made by Counsel Jackson. A yes vote means you want to sustain, you agree with the charter objection. A no vote would be you do not. Any questions or comments about that? Hearing none, again, the roll call vote will begin with Counsel Jackson.
Ms. Jackson.
Yes, I'm charter objecting.
Mr. Conti.
Yes.
Mr. Cobus.
No.
Vice President Parika.
No?
Ms. Dolan.
No.
Ms. Reynolds.
No.
Ms. Holmes.
No.
Ms. Hall.
No.
President Cooper.
No.
2 yeas, 7 nays.
Motion fails. We are back to the original reconsideration. And that, any questions or comments? Hearing none, this will require a roll call vote at the request of Councilor Parika, and we will begin with Councilor Hall.
Ms. Hall.
Okay, so excuse me? I
Yes.
apologize. This is for the original,
This is for the original, the
Reconsideration.
charter objection failed.
Got it.
This is for the original motion to reconsider.
thank you.
If you need the motion, does anyone need the motion reread? No. We'll begin with Council Hall.
Ms. Hall.
No.
Ms. Holmes.
No.
Ms. Reynolds.
No.
Ms. Dolan.
Yes.
Vice President Parika.
No.
Mr. Cobus.
No.
Mr. Conti.
No.
Ms. Jackson.
Yes.
President Cooper.
No.
2 yeas, 7 nays.
Motion fails. Thank you. Before we, before I call to adjourn, I would, at this time, like to, for all of us to have on our minds the Delisio family. Jay is absent tonight due to passing in his family, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the Delisio family during this time. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned 7:09.
Because Diane